All right, guys, this week we're going to take a couple of days and review confidence intervals. First day on Monday this week, we're going to go estimating a population proportion using confidence intervals. Population proportion, which involves p hat. Remember, p hat is the sample proportion. What we do is we try to use our sample proportion to guess what the true population proportion is, which could be a percent, probability. And because we're guessing what it could be, there's always error involved in our guess. And that's going to be a big deal today in our confidence interval. And the way we're going to find the error when we're doing proportions is this right here. We're going to do the z-score times the square root of p hat. Remember, q hat is really 1 minus p hat over n, and n is a sample size. We're going to find z-score using inverse norm on the calculator. That gives us our z-score. Notice it's alpha divided by 2. We're going to talk about that. I'm only going to show you one example here in a second. I'm just going to review in terms with you right now. And our final answer is going to look like this. It's going to be the true proportion is going to be p hat minus the error and p hat plus the error. And we'll talk about, remember, we are going to say like, I'm 95% confident that the true p is between these two numbers. And that's how we're going to do our final answer. So hopefully not too bad. I'm going to show you one example with everything in it, and that's all it's going to be on this video. You can re-watch the video as much as you need to when you start doing your work. So hopefully not too bad. Just a review for you, but it is on, again, this is one of the big things on the UT syllabus that my daughter had. So there you go. All right. From a KRC research poll in which respondents were asked if they felt vulnerable to identity theft, and that sample size is 1,002. 531 said yes, use a 95% confidence level. Okay, let's do the first couple parts here, and then we'll turn the page and do the second two. Part A. Part A says find the best point estimate. The best point estimate is p hat. And p hat is always x over n. That's how you're going to find your p hat. So take your calculator, just divide 531 divided by 1,002, and I get 0.53. All right, so that's where that came from. I should have written that down. I did this, 531 x over n divided by 1,002. All right, part B says identify the margin of error. So the margin of error, E, is going to be, I'm going to use that formula, which is the z-score, z-crit, times p hat, q hat over n inside your radical. So to find listen to me very carefully here. To find my z-crit, it says 95% confidence. Or both 95% confidence, that means you have 2.5 on each side. So I'm going to go inverse norm, second vars, number 3, inverse norm. I'm going to punch in 0.025 for my area because it's 5% total, which is 2.5% on each side. You got to cut that in half. On the first formula I showed you, this was z alpha divided by 2. And I'm going to click right, paste, enter, and I get this. I get 1.96. And anytime you see 95%, it's going to be 1.96. All right, my p hat is 0.53, which means my q hat is 0.47. My n is 1,002. So I'm going to punch that straight in my calculator. And I get 0.031 when I punch that in. So those are your main calculations you're going to have to do. You're going to have to find your p hat, if they don't tell it to you, and you got to find your margin of error. You got to find your E. Those are the two numbers you need to do part C, which is your confidence interval. Those are the only two numbers you need. You got to find p hat. You got to find your margin of error. But don't forget how we did that. Got to cut that in half, the leftover part in half right there. The 5%. Your alpha would be 5%. It's alpha divided by 2, 2.5%. Okay, let's turn the page here and go part C. Part C says construct the confidence interval. All the confidence interval is, remember, was this right here. Your true P is like P hat plus your margin of error and P hat minus your margin of error. And that's all it is. So my P hat was 0.53. My margin of error was 0.031. That's going there. Over here, my p hat was still 0.53 and margin of error was 0.031. So all I'm going to do to get my true p is punch those in, 0.53 minus 0.031, and I get 0.499, and 0.53 plus 0.031, and I get 0.561. All right, so and then part D, write a statement that correctly interprets what we just did. All right, so here we go. We are 95% confident that the true P, oops, I put that twice, that the true P, or true proportion, lies between 49.9% and 56.1%. Great handwriting by me right there. All right. Hopefully it's a great review for you. The problems you do today, only do 2 or 3 of them that you have to do these, but that's all you have to do on those. Hopefully you remember doing that. If not, it's a great review anyway, because when you take stats later, you're going to have to do it again. So there you go. Look for a Google Doc today with us on there. Like I say, 2 or 3 problems, that is it. And good luck with those. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.